So my friends, what habitat are we talking about this week? We've talked about other types of habitats, right? When we talked about the Arctic, that's a habitat. That's a cold habitat up north where animals like polar bears live and Arctic fox and things like that, right? We talked about Antarctica, which is down south where the penguins live, right? That's another type of habitat. The jungle's a habitat. The forest, we talked about the forest where the bears live and fox live and squirrels and chipmunks and wolves in the forest, right? We've talked about the habitat where frogs live. Frogs live in a swamp or a pond, right? It's a different kind of body of water. What habitat are we talking about this week? Did you watch the videos yet? We're talking about the ocean, and it's probably my favorite habitat because I love to swim in the ocean, and I love to go scuba diving, and I love ocean animals. So we're going to talk about the habitat, but first we're going to talk about the ocean as the home first. Okay, so I made one of my anchor charts. I wrote the ocean, here's my waves, right? And I wrote the ocean is and the ocean has. Okay, so first off, right off the bat, what is the ocean made of? It's not earth, right? It's water. The ocean is water, right? The ocean is made of water. So the ocean is water. Is the ocean small or is it very big? It's big, right? So I said it's huge. It takes up a lot of our earth. We could see it in the pictures of the globe. All the blue is the water on the earth, right? Now, there is a lot of water on the earth, but not all of it is like the ocean, right? There's the ocean, there's the streams and the brooks and the rivers and the lakes and the ponds and all that, right? But we're thinking about an ocean which is different. The ocean is a place where animals live, and it's not a place where you can drink the water. What's different about ocean water? Fresh water you can drink. What's different about ocean water? I know that you've probably played by the ocean and got some on your mouth a little bit. It's salty. The ocean is salty, okay? The ocean is a habitat where animals live, but it's a certain kind of animal that lives either under the water or near the water, right? The ocean is very deep. We talked about the 3 levels, right? The down, deep level is so dark and so deep, it's hard to get down there even as a diver because you can't stay down there for that long. It takes a while to get down there. We don't even know everything that lives down there, okay? So it's very deep. But I wrote also the ocean is important. Important means that it has a great role in how we survive in the world. And we're going to figure out, by the end of this unit, we'll figure out, why is the ocean so important? It's a very important question, okay? So what else do we know about the ocean? We know what the ocean has, okay? When you go to the beach, I bet you do this, you run towards the shore. The shore is where the ocean ends and the sand begins, right? And you run, and then something comes up and the water gets you, the cold water gets your feet, so you run away again. Why does the water come in and out? What are those called? Or some people, like my son Aiden, like to get a surfboard and ride those. They go, what are they? The waves, okay? So the ocean has waves, okay? What kind of animals live in the ocean? The ocean has fish, all kinds of different fish, right? Fish live underwater, and we learned a little bit about how fish breathe when we learned about tadpoles, because when a frog is just born, it's a tadpole and it's more like a fish and it has gills. It breathes through the water, right? So fish don't come out of the water. They breathe through the water. They have gills. But guess what? The ocean also has mammals. A mammal is an animal that has fur or hair at one time of their life, right? It's an animal that is not born from an egg. It's an animal that feeds their babies with milk, right? Mammals live in the ocean. A whale is a mammal. A dolphin is a mammal. They breathe air out of the air. They don't breathe through the water. They have those blowholes, and that's how they breathe it in and breathe it out. Okay, that's what's different about those animals. There are also things called crustaceans in the water. I like to eat a lot of them. Crustaceans, they're crabs and lobsters and shrimp. Yummy. They have shells on them to protect them in the water, okay? They're fun to see in the water too. Now, also under the water is something called coral. And sometimes we find that on the beach in Florida or places that have a lot of coral. There's all kinds of plants that live in the ocean. Coral is living plants that, if it dies and dries up, it can be pretty, You usually find that in warmer waters. So coral, the oceans have coral, right? And plants. And they also have clams, oysters. Clams and oysters, those shells, and mussels too. They're in a shell and they close up, and that's how they're really soft inside, so they need a shell to protect them, like a snail, right? And also one of my favorite animals that you can see in the ocean, and I have seen them when I was diving, is a shark. Sharks live in the ocean. Sharks are like fish. They breathe through their gills, right? And they are ferocious, and they do eat other animals, and once in a while they'll take a taste of a human, but they don't mean to. They think you're a fish, so they're not. You have to be careful. You're never going to be in the water with a shark because they live all the way out in the ocean, and when you're at the beach, you're only in the water to your feet or your knees or your waist, right? So when I scuba dive in the Caribbean waters, in the warm waters where it's really blue and clear, I see reef sharks. They're smaller and they don't bother you. They kind of stay out in the open, and it's really cool to see them. Okay, so sharks live in the ocean as well. So I want you to look at all those videos that I posted. There's some fun songs. You could sing Baby Shark now. Woohoo, Baby Shark. It fits the theme now, right? There's some videos to watch, and there's some experiments to do, and there are going to be some art projects. So I want you to get going and do some of your work. Look at some of those worksheets and pick one that you want to do. That's all. Just pick one and do it, okay? And have a marvelous, marvelous Monday, and I'll see you on Zoom.